I will always look at myself as a working actress.
Elise really became a famous face when she landed the role of Yvonne Hughley on the show The Hughleys.
That was just a breakout role.
She probably won the crown for sexiest TV mom.
The All of Us experience didn't end like she would have liked it to.
There were rumors that there was some backstage tension between her and Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray and I didn't like each other on the show.
So she left the show.
So I was gone. That's it.
She has her own cabaret show called Elise and Assorted Flavors.
I had heard this song called Don't Ya, and that was like our opening number.
She invited the Pussycat Dolls to come see them perform.
The Dolls at the time were trying to find music to maybe do an album. Little did I know that they would see Don't Ya and go, oh, that should be our single.
Incredible triumphs, devastating losses, unbelievable chance, and sudden misfortune. Then there was life after.
From the time I was 6 years old, it was all about how do I become an entertainer.
I don't care what nobody say, I'm gonna be the funniest guy.
People are not stupid.
If you want me to kiss your ass, then you have to put it in my pocket.
There was nothing that I could do to have changed that moment.
In my heart, it's usually first about being the best that I can be, being the best performer, actress, being the best person I can be. And sometimes those things can get messy.
Check, check. Yo.
I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and I actually loved growing up there. My mom was a nurse. My dad was a construction worker.
From an early age, she knew that she wanted to work in this business. She wanted to be a performer.
She went to dance school. She mastered ballet, jazz.
From the time I was 6 years old, it was all about how do I become an entertainer. I remember growing up, watching Shirley Temple reruns, and was like to my mom one day, I really want to learn how to do that. I want to learn how to do what she's doing.
She knew she wanted to sing, dance, and act. That was it for her.
Everybody said, you know, your mom's a nurse. Maybe you should go into nursing. It really was not even a question for me. I loved being on stage, and I really wanted to see where I could go with it.
Elise didn't just decide that she was going to be an entertainer. She worked at it. She went to a performing arts high school in her hometown, and then she went to Philadelphia School of the Arts, which is a very competitive institution, and she actually got a full scholarship to that school.
It was really a great thing for me, and maybe I should have been a little bit more afraid, moving away from home and moving away from my friends and family, but for me, it was really exciting. Let's just say the college was a little bit of a detour. I went to the PCPA for 2 years, and yes, I got yelled at by everybody I knew because I decided to drop out. And I decided that, well, now it's time to go to the big time, go to New York and get my career started.
Elise got a great gig very early on. She became a member of a dance troupe that was very well known, and she was touring around the world.
I actually have a passport that I had to get a new one because there was no more stamp to space available on my passport. So I don't know too many people who can say that.
Imagine you go to the big city and you get an opportunity of a lifetime to fulfill your dream.
It was really a great time. Most of the time when you're just dancing, you're behind some big name artist. So you don't get a lot of camera time, even though you're back there just hammering out a routine like hard, right? And then you see the cameras like right here. Then you just start like pounding out the routine. When I first moved to New York, I had a friend out in Queens, and she knew somebody that was about to do a video. So she's like, oh, they need a dancer. And so I do this video, and it's called Only You from Kwame.
I auditioned for this video as the lead female, and Elise was one of the dancers in the video. So immediately on the set, we just became like close friends.
It becomes a huge hit. So now everybody's like, oh, you're in the Kwame video.
She never has to do anything else in her life. She was in a Kwame video. That is the greatest thing of all time.
I worked for Vanessa Williams. I got work to do.
You go back and look at a lot of those 90s music videos, you'd be surprised to see Elise in there doing those dances.
Back in the day, as we say, videos were different. It wasn't about how little clothes you have on. It was more about talent.
This was a time when they weren't just using women to just stand around. They were actually using trained classical dancers to perform in the videos, and Elise nailed a lot of those gigs.
She does ballet, she does jazz, she does modern. So she did all that before it was just about, ample behinds and a lot of shaking of the ample behinds.
I wasn't hired for my butt. Let's just say that. My butt's not that big anyway, so it wouldn't have worked.
Elise really became a famous face when she landed the role of Yvonne Hughley on the show The Hughleys.
That was just a breakout role.
I had to be myself almost and be funny all the time and let people in a way.
She probably won the crown for sexiest TV mom.
Even though Elise had been dancing and performing for years, her big break really came when she was on Star Search.
Welcome, In Effect.
My group was called In Effect, and we made it all the way to the finals.
It was really cool because there was nothing in that format back then.
I hate to say, the group we were performing with in the finals, the girl tripped, and we were backstage like, oh, she tripped, we got it, we're gonna get it, we're gonna win. Which is exactly why we lost.
It was the thing that gave her the drive to say, I can do this and I can do this full time.
For me, that was a be-all, end-all at that time. I still kind of like pop my collar about that one. And we were good, too. We were really good. After Star Search, which was really my first time on national television, I started doing a lot of commercials. All of a sudden, I was going in and booking them, and I've done over 100 commercials.
And it was doing those commercials that really helped her transition into movies.
I remember auditioning for Malcolm X. I will never forget how I met Spike Lee. I was walking into my building one day, and Spike was coming out of that theater production company. And he's like, hey, I've seen you on TV before. And I'm like, well, yes, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I have a couple commercials, And he's like, yeah. You're in that Burger King commercial that I can't stand because you're getting proposed to in the Burger King and people shouldn't be doing that. And he just started letting me have it like Spike will on the street of New York.
People think it's just, the right place at the right time. But you can be at the right place at the right time and not have the skills to act on why that meeting occurred. And that's what she's great at.
I auditioned as a day player in Malcolm X, and little I'm in a film now. Who knew?
Elise just kind of was the golden child in terms of really getting gigs that were secured and contracted. First, she got a role on a show called Loving, which was a soap opera.
Elise moved to LA.
I moved to Los Angeles, auditioned for a soap opera called Loving, get that part, and have to move back to New York. Literally in like 6 months, I was right back in New York.
Elise's work on Loving was a great training ground for her because anyone who knows anything about the soaps, you learn so much dialogue.
I would look at her and see what she was doing and how she would take her lines and learn them just like that and go study in the corner and come back and be ready. And I was like, wow.
To have, say, 14 pages of dialogue for one scene and not mess up was probably the best thing I could do for myself.
Then she met John Singleton. She auditioned for him. She did Rosewood, which was actually one of his better works.
Like I said, when I met Spike Lee and he was yelling at me on the street, I could have ran. But I was like, hey, hold on, I made good money in that commercial. And honestly, for John Singleton, I think it was the same thing. I don't care how many times you want me to go into a room and just stand there with some paper and read. I got this. John, how many times? I never backed down. I was never afraid to keep coming in. I know I'm going to get this job. The biggest thing was John Singleton really wanted to see me and Ving Rhames interact. They did a screen test with me and Ving down in Florida, and about 3 days later, they were like, congratulations, you got the role.
She didn't get caught up in the limelight. If she had to audition for something repeatedly, she would do it.
I was very nervous at an audition. I saw her and I said, how do you stop yourself from being nervous? And she said, if you're not nervous, then you're not really working. Stay nervous. That helps you. Use your nervous energy. And to this day, she's been right.
If you feel in your heart that you can do it and you don't let all the other things that could creep into your psyche get in the way, you can get it. You can do it.
The All of Us experience didn't end like she would have liked it to.
There were rumors that there was some backstage tension between her and Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray and I didn't like each other on the show.
So she left the show.
So I was gone. That's it.
I'm a rare bird. Like, I don't have to be in a relationship. I feel like I have a full life and I'm busy and I have a career that I really am happy about. I'm not one of those women who are like, oh, I have my wedding dress picked out. If I'm in a relationship, it's because I'm having fun. And, you know, and if it becomes longer than 2 or 3 months, it's because we're still having fun. I don't spend every day like, oh, I wonder who's the next guy I'm going to be with. I don't worry about that.
I love it with this. Thank you.
Cool. Gonna be fun. I probably should. You know, I'm getting up there in age. I should probably worry about it, but I don't care.
One of Elise's big screen breaks was in Scream 2.
That role wasn't written for someone of color. It was something that the director was like, I want her to play this role I have coming up in Scream 2. So I became Neve Campbell's roommate. I'd like to say I was one of the first Black women to be in a horror film that
To be alive past the credits rolling.
Then she got on the Hughleys. That was just a breakout role for Elise.
DL was looking for someone to play his wife. And to be honest, a lot of people were like, you're doing good in film. So it's really now going to be a question of, do you want to be a television actress?
Definitely a big change for me. But it's a welcome one. It's a different one. It gives me a chance to show my funny side a little bit.
Elise really became a famous face when she landed the role of Yvonne Hughley on the show The Hughleys. And that's when she kind of became a staple in the Hollywood scene.
I had to be myself almost and be funny all the time. Much of a character because it's really just honestly me, but just some crazy lines. Did you kiss her?
See, Camille kissed me. I was just standing there and all of a sudden her lips were on mine.
Well, if she was the one who kissed you, I guess there was no way for you to avoid it, so.
Exactly. You now, come here, now.
Woo! Look at that! You tried to kiss me and I avoided it.
When Elise landed the job on the Hughleys, she probably won the crown for sexiest TV mom. We hadn't seen many TV moms that was as fly, as hot, and as young as Elise Neal.
D.L. Hughley's role, Daryl on there, he was just so crazy and so eccentric. And somebody asked her one of the kids, said, God, what is it like being Daryl all day? And so Elise's character said, exhausting. And then D.L. came through the door. She said, oh, how was your day? He said, exhausting.
Playing somebody's wife on television, you know, after a while you kind of bicker. Not like husband and wife, but like brother and sister, because you've seen them for 4 years straight, and you know, it's like, really, you're still around?
It was really, really funny, and it brought that whole family and African American working ethic together. That's very important for us to see as images on television.
Honey, I know that I've hurt you, and I'm sorry.
Well, then I guess I'd like us to go home now.
For real?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because when you think about it,
Daryl, when has
You talking more ever made things better.
You know you are right.
Not even 3 months or so after the Hughleys wrapped, I was called in to audition for All of Us.
There was a lot of anticipation for the premiere of All of Us because it was a show that was based and also produced by Will and Jada Pinkett Smith.
She was auditioning for the wife role, and I was auditioning for the ex-wife role.
There were rumors that there was some backstage tension between her and Lisa Ray.
People want to assume because Lisa Ray and I didn't like each other on the show that we must not like each other in person.
People can't separate fiction from reality.
It is a show, people. She is acting. I am acting.
We would talk in the dressing room, and I got a chance to become friends, become sister girls, become talkative enough to be able to have an opinion about her besides just being an actress.
They are themselves. They are Elise Neal and Lisa Ray, and there was never any drama.
I was glad that I had an opportunity to work with her, to know her in a different light.
The All of Us experience for Elise didn't end like she would have liked it to.
The reason why I left was, honestly, it was all about budget cuts.
Apparently, they asked her to take a reduced salary, and Elise doesn't play when it comes to her money, so she left the show.
It was honestly something that I got a call that was their decision, so I was gone. That's it.
She has her own cabaret show called Elise and Assorted Flavors. She invited the dolls to come see them perform.
Little did I know that the Pussycat Dolls would see Don't Ya and go, oh, that should be our single.
I don't like to do red carpet all the time because everything now is so about, how much of a celebrity you are.
I still look at myself and will always look at myself as a working actress. It keeps me from getting too caught up in trying to be a star. I still struggle with the fact that I need to make transitions into making it a little bit more about trying to be a star, but for me, it becomes less fun then.
I'm not the opening of an envelope chick,
Elise is still pretty busy. She has her own cabaret show called Elise and Assorted Flavors, and they perform around town.
I went to Vegas to actually support her on seeing this cabaret show, and it was wonderful. I didn't even know that she could dance like that. I knew that she was a pretty girl and a great actress, but dancer too. I said, girl, you a triple threat then, huh?
I did a huge show on Valentine's Day about different aspects of love. And it was like, God, I still need that sexy first number. And my hairdresser at the time was into the gay party scene. So he was like, I had heard this song and, maybe this will work. So he plays the song for me. And this girl, I think she was a young Mexican girl, recorded this song called Don't Ya. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's good. That's hot. That's sexy. Okay, let's do that.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was wrong like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was fun like me? Don't you?
Apparently that night when Elise and her girls debuted the song and their performance, some of the girls from the Pussycat Dolls was there to see the production.
Well, little did I know that they would see Don't Ya and go, oh, that should be our single.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me? Ooh, don't you?
That was her whole entire concept. And it was robbed from her.
They basically took the whole idea, more hip-hop genre that I created for my show.
Elise and her girls, Assorted Flavors, performed the song Don't Ya before it was the song Don't Ya.
2-3 weeks later, the dolls recorded it and put out the song on their album.
For the Pussycat Dolls to have done that to her is something that's just horrible and something very, very treacherous.
I do not care if they're upset because I think they should know that it came from me. What it taught me is, number one, I know exactly what I'm doing when I put those hot, sexy women together and that it would be a hit. I think think, when the time is right, we'll surprise the world and we'll come back out with our own songs.
We gotta write some songs
Yeah, we
again.
gotta get some new songs. We gotta get in the studio.
And trust me, I have my music laureate to back me up now. It'll be different.
She's one of the actresses out in Hollywood that I admire the most because she's very good at what she does. And she also, as an African-American actress, has done great bodies of work.
When you are a person of color, there's 3 auditions and 5,000 people want one of those 3 auditions.
She's happy to have done all the work that she's done, and, she believes what's for her is going to come for her.
I have to imagine the fact that she keeps working speaks very highly to her professionalism. She's doing something right.
She's super talented, and she has a lot of good karma in the Hollywood industry. So she's always been working, and she'll always be able to find work. So good things lie ahead for her.
I haven't ever gotten that diva or that, I'm a Hollywood star vibe.
How you doing? My name is Elise.
I know Elise Neal. I know you.
Just want to make sure. Elise has been the same person that I've met from day one. Very warm, very inviting, very friendly.
I've known her before, so now I know her after, and she's still just Elise to me.
I don't know what the life after is because I think I'm still completely living my life after journeys now.